George Washington didn't only cut down cherry trees. Oh, that's right. He also chainsawed a couple of redcoats. This is a part of US history that they don't really cover that much in schools. Kind of one of those things that can get a little bit too crazy for people. Europeans, when they first step foot into East Asia and eat a meal. What do I do with these chopsticks now? That must have been incredibly confusing for some of those first Europeans. Wouldn't be surprised if a lot of them just starved. Albert Einstein saying his last words. His nurse, who couldn't speak German. On this day, we probably lost like the single most important information he ever discovered. Why didn't we have a Lima vaccine for him back then? British people holding up a sign that says America's first president was British. Like my best Patrick impression. No, they actually have a point though. I mean, technically, it wasn't like the first, I don't know, 5 American presidents all technically British. They were at least born British anyways. Hey, USA, how's that little war going? Asks a Napoleon from France. Cut to the White House, literally on fire. Alright, maybe not that good. I never realized what Napoleon's reaction must have been back in 1812 when this all went down. I mean, I understand he kind of had his hands full, you know, just controlling the whole of Europe, but man, this must have been pretty disappointing. Still can't believe he's gone. This Christmas will be our 1905th without Emperor Trajan. Man, why'd you gotta bring this up? It's too soon. I still haven't been able to deal with this emotionally yet. You have 2 paths. One leads to Rome, the other the USSR. Teenage boys picking what dead nation they will be obsessed with. I think maybe this is like a nowadays thing, but when I was a teenage boy, I don't think I even thought of these two. I think I was just obsessed with Luxembourg. Red Army veterans of the Winter War getting flashbacks of their horrifying experience in 1943, colorized. It tastes like you're in the middle of a forest in Finland. And there is literally nothing else more disgusting than that. Just imagine you're a soldier of the USSR thinking you're in some sort of winter wonderland. Then this MFer pops out behind a tree. Don't let this smile confuse you. He will send you to the Shadow Realm. The 5 countries lining up to take on America and the West. We have the leaders of China, Russia, Brazil, India, and South Africa. Meanwhile, the Allied powers reading this headline. Yeah, here we go again. Except this time, some notable people have kind of switched sides, I guess. India and South Africa used to be a part of that whole Allied squad, but I guess not. This is just referring to the BRICS organization. Of course, everyone likes to talk about that like it's a military alliance. It's just an economic one. But of course, every time they get together, everyone kind of freaks out. Wait, what's actually most funny about this is technically from the Allied powers in WW2, these were all Allied powers in WW2. China was fighting Japan, Russia was the USSR, Brazil joined late, but they were eventually allies. Morning of April 8th, 1940, we have a Danish person speaking regular Danish. Morning of April 9th, 1940, now I think they're speaking a different variation of Danish, maybe a bit more German influenced. What's funny about this is technically you didn't even need to advance 24 hours in the timeline. It took only 6 for Denmark to surrender to the no-no Germans. Wait, according to this, it might have only been 2. President Jimmy Carter realizing he left the nuclear launch codes in his jacket, which is now at the cleaners. Man, if I was an employee at that cleaners, I'd be like, find me the red button now. It's time I end this. I just want to be president so I can choose my own nuclear launch codes. Come up with like the dumbest numbers, 69, 420. The Egyptian god Ra. Ra again? Ra? Talk about a 1000 IQ meme. Maybe this is where Rasputin got his magical powers. Chinese war history versus Chinese war history where they won. Well, to be fair, a lot of Chinese war history is just China fighting China. So technically, you always win those, right? Actually, I think it might be the opposite. You always lose. Is this true? 8 victories out of 62 wars since the 17th century? I guess they don't call it the century of humiliation for nothing. Chinese mythology, Greek mythology, Sumerian mythology, Hindu and Native Americans, Korean, Malaysian, Finnish, just throw them all in there. All agreeing to have something to do with a massive flood. That seems a little crazy. Something tells me we should probably look into this. Hades in Greek mythology versus Hades in Western movies. Hades. He's never gonna stop getting a bad rap. At least we all here know he was more like this. There's like memes talking about it every week. I control the Silk Road, says this Ottoman leader to France and some other European powers. They just give him back a little thumbs up. Nobody gets spices and linen but through me. Anyways, lads, I built this big boat and we can use it to sail around this guy. Man, boats are just so cool. Well, I mean, unless you're this guy. And with that, the Ottomans here accidentally jump-started the whole colonization thing. All of Europe said, we'll just get our boats and go around, and then they figured out, oh, wait, there's all this stuff out here. We should probably take it. Modern boys waking up. I don't want to wake up with their 20 alarms. Meanwhile, Roman men waking up. Thanks, Sol Invictus. And here's the sun saying back, you're welcome. I don't know about you guys, but does anyone else have the desire to just like start sleeping on the grass outside? I want to wake up all natural again, like like the ancestors. Anything is better than this, honestly. Pirates in fiction, I'm gonna steal all your money, then eat you alive. No, you're a maniac! Versus pirates in reality. Regarding the economic crisis we're facing, I have no other choice but to rob you. Don't worry, I won't hurt you, I'm not a savage. No problem, I know there's nothing personal there. So many people in history just get such bad raps. Pirates are actually pretty chill. Well, most of the time. Maybe not all of them. Actually, it depends. There was definitely some that were like this. I think in fiction, they just need to do like a little bit of both, like the crazy ones and just the ones that are trying to vibe. Tankies be like, Russia did nothing wrong and Poles despise it only because of a US propaganda. My brothers in Christ, we've despised Russia before the USA was even a thing. I mean, honestly, if you know even just the slightest bit of Polish history, this really shouldn't even be a surprise. This rivalry has been technically going on for like 1,000 years at least. The Aztecs holding up their Yu-Gi-Oh cards with better warriors, bigger population, and this city. Meanwhile, the Incas with better logistics and cocoa leaves. Yeah, literally no one can beat cocoa leaves. Aztecs should have just surrendered right there. They've got no chance. The Turks, after conquering Anatolia, you know, I'm something of a Roman myself. Easily one of the strangest fanfiction lores ever created. I mean, yeah, the original and sequels were pretty good, and then every other installment after that, it just continued to get stranger and stranger. Like, why did you even do this? We really didn't need this. You ambush Andrew Jackson. You misfire. It's alright, you brought another one. It misfires too. Now Jackson is coming at you with his cane. Oh no. And now you're gonna go down in history as one of the more pathetic attempts to take out a US president. I guess it was technically the first, but maybe not the most well known. POV, you're watching Roosevelt's speech, but suddenly someone shoots him. Oh no! Anyways, just continues to give the speech. That's how much of a boss Roosevelt is. Don't try to pull a drive-by, but he didn't care at all. Thank goodness the queen had a boy. Without him, we would have no king. If he happened to been oofed, we would be in such political turmoil. Gets oofed of cringe after a 5-day reign. Oh no. It's like my best oversimplified impression. That must have been just like the most frustrating thing. You just need this like stupid baby to survive. And then it just doesn't, and now your country's screwed for the next 20 years. Two military champions who have been nerfed in films to be more believable. We have the Korean turtle ships and the Polish winged hussars. I feel like there still hasn't been a really good depiction of both of these things in media. I think country balls do a better job of depicting it usually. Canadians doing a little bit of trolling back in WW1. This German guy's like, I'm getting good at catching these food tins. Look, he's throwing another one. Oh man, if only this poor soul knew. The next one is more than likely gonna explode. Canadians trying not to do war crimes. Impossible challenge. Got this position in chess.com. How do I save my king? Clearly it's an unfair matchup. You're playing the French version. Your king pretty much just gets oofed instantly. You literally have no chance. Actually, I think this guy's probably gonna be next too. We don't think American audiences are gonna understand this, and the movie is way too long. We would like to edit this movie to make it more family friendly. Meanwhile, this dude coming up, getting all close to him. I said, no cuts. Is actually referring to some Studio Ghibli films, which are some of my favorites, because many American studios enjoyed cutting up this man's films for the next movie, which happened to be Princess Mononoke. He sent a katana with a note that said, no cuts. He didn't want a single scene removed this time, which when all things were said and done, he was totally right. They didn't cut his movie and it became a classic. Siege engineers from Spain, when their trebuchet failed so spectacularly, it managed to launch a boulder at a perfect 90-degree angle upward. Okay, you probably can't just like sit there and look straight up at it. You might want to get out of the way. It's gonna be coming straight back down for you. Both English speakers and Spanish speakers laughing at the name Lake Titicaca. Finally, something to bring us all together. Been laughing at this since like the 3rd grade. It'll never not be funny. The Roman Empire in 654. MFR, you are hard to look at. It's literally everyone's reaction, I think. How the mighty have fallen. This was only 654. From this, they were still gonna like last another like 1,000 years though. Another 3rd century emperor. My job here is done. But you didn't do anything. It doesn't matter, she's already on her way. When you're a Roman emperor in the 3rd century, you don't have to do anything. That's the greatest part about it. Wish that could be me. Yes, the Donner Party in the winter of 1846. Meat is meat. I mean, are they wrong? If you're just going by that statement, I'm just saying, meat is meat. Okay. The Cold War is seen by other countries. Oh man, this is getting intense. Meanwhile, the Cold War, in reality, we have the USA afraid and the Soviet Union afraid. It's all good because you just gotta make sure you put up a good front, try to scare the other person. But I think at the same time, we all know deep down inside this is our true emotion. Peasant, what happened to your chin? Meanwhile, the Habsburgs, it just kept getting like that more and more. With every generation, this ball ended up getting like becoming a bigger growth. I don't know. I don't want to talk about it. I literally just saw a frame of this. I knew instantly where it was going to go. So we have the USA coming into the picture and Japan turning kawaii and Germans just liking beer again. Man, he's supposed to say, I can explain. Japan really did have a crazy transition there though. I mean, Germany just like drinks now, but I don't even know what Japan does. Don't think they could even explain. Historians in the past, yeah, there was a battle somewhere near that guy's house, and the king shot lightning, I think. Meanwhile, historians now, no, they had 27,000 grenades on the 14th of October, not 27, oh, they had 27,291, not 27,290. Imagine the number actually not coming from like a random dream you had too, and historians really fell off. No, let us through your bridge so we can slaughter your army. Meanwhile, this one guy with an axe screaming demonically. Yeah, this is referring to this crazy guy on a bridge that was taking on an entire army himself. The Battle of Stamford Bridge. One Norwegian mad lad just decided he was going to put the team on his back. Hey, can you guys just like stop raiding our lands? What are you going to do to stop us? Build a wall. Proceeds to build wall. Damn it. Yeah, they probably shouldn't have said anything in the first place. Come on, Celts. What are you doing? You look smarter than that. Imagine being a farmer dragged into a conflict for 5 months, and then this MFer starts charging you. It's actually some sort of really strange helmet, I think. I don't know for sure, though. It's like when your teacher starts class and gives you like the most depressing information ever, and then you look over at your friend. This is always how they look back at you. It's actually not that funny, but for some reason I'm laughing at the idea of it. When I'm in a revolts and rebellions competition and my opponent is the Umayyad Caliphate, ain't nobody do it better than them, no matter how hard you try Eastern Rome. And big thank you to my patrons. Drew's Goth Girlfriend, Triv44, aka Drew Come to Krakow, Polandnextvacation, Twickenhamster, Drew's Argentinian Grandpa, $20 is a lot, Drew, Selene, B Wildfang, Bryton Is, Carmel Saida, DJ, McSkillet, Ortin, Patrick, Allison, Robert E, the Polish Lithuanian, the Mexican 760, Veiotic, and ZaneyBoi.